Apple IDs, and then everything is supposed to be together in a family plan for storage and purchases and everything. Do we create a new Apple ID for this device? Okay, thank you, Judy. I knew you would answer the question.
You're going to copy something, one of the iPads you're going to copy to the new one, correct?
What do you mean by copy?
That's what they told me would happen. You're going to get your new iPad in the mail. You're going to open it up, and it's going to say, do you want to use your iPad Pro for this iPad? This is how they told me it would work.
Okay. At the same time we purchased this at Costco, we also purchased an AppleCare.
Mm-hmm.
First time we've ever done that. So the AppleCare came in an email, mm-hmm. which I'm trying to find, but I have not found it just yet.
You can call AppleCare and they can walk you through all that too.
You know, that's a very good point, Cheryl. Is any of these questions, because you have AppleCare, you can call them and they'll talk you through all of this.
Yes.
Okay, so do I phone AppleCare or this, because it came from Costco, it says...
Don't call Costco. Don't call Costco.
Don't call Costco. Okay, I have Costco concierge services to help me with my setup of my new technology. Free technology support.
I would call AppleCare personally. That's what you paid for.
Well, and Costco, Dad just had this experience. The Costco guy walked him through deleting everything in his computer.
Oh.
So I would call Apple because you have AppleCare and because they should know exactly what they're talking about.
Okay, the AppleCare proof of coverage. All it says is, dear customer, your AppleCare proof of coverage document is attached. Apple support resources. We're here to help. Visit Apple support. So I haven't registered anything.
Number for you. There should be a phone number there.
Yeah, if you want to deal with them on the phone, and they will also talk you through how to verify you have AppleCare. And they're also really good about using AppleCare on all of your Apple devices. Like AppleCare is now like a product you buy, and they'll just apply it to whatever device you're asking for help with.
Okay, so it's applecanada.inc.
Oh, well, now I don't know what you're going to do. Jeez, well, those Canadians. I don't know if you're going to find any help.
So it's given me an agreement number and a device ID, the product description, and the coverage end date. So I guess I do have that.
Yeah, they would ask you for any of those for as identifiers. What's that, Bill?
Well, AppleCare Canada won't be able to help us, but they'll be sorry.
They'll be sorry, eh? Let's see. You can set up this device with either a new account or your old account. You can set up this new device as a replacement device or as an additional device with either a new account or an old account. So you don't need to create a new account unless you have a need for a new account. And you can choose as you're setting it up whether this is replacing the old iPad. And what that really would mean is, do I want all the same apps installed in it? Do I want all the same settings to go into it? And you contrast that with, no, this is a secondary device. I want to keep the old device, but I'm setting this up fresh, like a brand new device.
My God, Paul's brain is exploding.
Yeah, right. Well, so Cheryl's. Okay, so don't give me a lot of choices. Tell me the pros and cons. Okay, so if I set this up as a new device on I start from fresh, there will be no settings, there'll be no apps or anything on it.
Yep.
If I set it up as a replacement device, anything that I have on that device
it will help you migrate over to it. It'll have a list of the applications that you've used in the past on your other device, and it will help you to install those apps, and hopefully all the passwords are there as well. So the idea is that you're setting down the old device and picking up the new device in its place. Oh, and Judy just put in the chat the AppleCare phone number.
Probably the U.S. one. But anyway, thank you, Judy.
That's all right. Oh, the US number.
I suspect it's the same number in Canada, too.
It might be, yeah. So if I bring all of my apps from this iPad has been full, so the storage has been maxed out. It has all my Google photos on it, and Google keeps telling me that I need to delete and do things.
Wait, that's your Google space, though, right?
Yeah, but I'm kind of thinking I should start new with this one.
Well, again, it's new. Well, it's kind of a concept more than anything else, because it's not like they're restoring your backup. Well, actually, it is like they're restoring their backup, but the applications are not in the backup; they're in the App Store. And so what you're really doing is you're telling it to download the same list of applications, set them up.
Okay, so it's the apps list and their passwords and things like that.
That's right. That's really what you're doing when you're migrating to the device, is you're basically saying put all the same applications on this device and have them set up the same way as the old device.
Can I do that from an iPhone to an iPad?
I believe you can. I don't live in the Apple world, but I believe you can look at your iPhone and use that as a model for your new device. I think it actually gives you that option when you're setting it up.
They told me that once you go on to your new device for the first time, it'll ask you the questions.
It'll use language like, do you want to migrate over from another device? And that's a little, I mean, even if it uses that exact language, which I have seen before, your migration is not a movement, it's a copy. So regardless of what you choose to do, your old device is left intact.
So it's a copy, not a migrate.
Yeah, well they use the language migrate, but you're not moving. You are copying. Your old device is left exactly intact the way it was original. It's just using that as a model for setting up the new device.
Okay. And when we talk about Apple ID, the pros and cons of creating a new one as opposed to using one that already exists.
Well, my cons would be, how many do you already have?
That's a good con.
Too many for me to remember everything.
So I would just, I don't know. It just seems like you should have, for me, you should have one ID for you, one for Bill, and that should be your Apple IDs.
I think unless you're doing something strange, like you're administrating equipment for a school or a corporation, the question of do you need a new Apple ID is really down to your personal use. And so what Judy says makes a lot of sense, is your Apple ID is like your persona with Apple. Your Cheryl is coming over to a new Apple device. That's what we're saying. And when you get into a new Apple ID, you're losing access to the things your old Apple ID had access to. Maybe you've made purchases. Maybe you're part of a family group. A good example is that storage space that you guys have gotten with Apple's cloud, is that 2 terabytes. If you set up a new Apple ID, you're not going to have access to that space unless that new Apple ID gets added to your family account. So I think a new Apple ID for a new device becomes cumbersome and confusing.
Okay, I think I made my decision.
All right.
I say KISS. Right?
Yes, the KISS principle.
Exactly.
Keep it simple, stupid.
There you
Yes,
go.
I understand it. I have been kissed many times by many organizations. We have two Terry Stimsons.
I don't
And they're both,
hear me on this one.
yep.
Scott's working on my computer. I forgot to ask him if I could use it. So I'm now on Terry's computer.
Okay.
Now, I don't know why I'm on this other spot. It says me, and it says I don't have a microphone on.
Well, you're on now.
I should have a microphone on both.
Oh, you've actually, yeah, they're right. You've got two different logins going on.
And one
I
of them,
must be special.
one of them was muted, but now they're both
Unmuted.
talking.
Yeah, you're almost in stereo. I'm gonna shut one of these off.
The first one.
The first one. I don't know how to distinguish between a first and a last one, but I'm just gonna.
One beside Chester.
Well, I'm on Terry's computer, so I think the second one is the. Oh no!
No, you're good.
Yeah, we see you. You must be in another window doing the same thing.
Okay, let's see what happens when I go back to one of the old windows.
Because you're definitely online with us.
You're good. We can hear you. We can see you.
Good, I've got nothing to say.
Okay. And Paul didn't like the Apple talk. Obviously, he just bailed on us.
I missed why somebody commented that his brain exploded.
He's back.
Oh, there. Paul moved his head, and it went into his beam thing, and it looked like his head had gone.
Oh, into his background, and it looked like his head was exploding.
Sorry
Okay.
about that.
So we're going to set up this new iPad, and then we'll be off to the races again.
Awesome. Your old iPad is so old compared to your new iPad, and it is such a more powerful chip with more capacity that I think you could easily just migrate over to it, and it would hold everything that you're doing, your iCloud stuff, I don't think that or what is it I'm trying to say? I think that it's going to very easily handle all your capacity. I don't think there's any special considerations that you have to keep in mind. I think it'll easily take up all the work of your old device and then leave lots of capacity for other stuff. In my opinion.
And the thing that, like, the reason I bought it in the first place was because the kids had FaceTime and we didn't. And so we mainly bought it for FaceTime, but I've used it for everything ever since, the banking and all that kind of stuff. So it'll be good to have it all set up and everything, especially with the contacts and all of those things to be brought over.
Are you adding a keyboard to it?
Don't know yet. The pricing was kind of interesting. Like, we've looked at Costco before, and they've always had the what is it? Not the 128.
64.
They've had the 64, and this time they happened to have the 128. So we picked it up and wanted to make sure that that's what it was. But like I say, we haven't turned it on yet to see that that's actually what's in it. We've only read out on the box so far.
Gosh, and I didn't realize they had a 64. I thought they had a 32 and a 128.
That's what it was. 32 is what we'd always seen in Costco. And that's what they have on display is the 32. But the card that we picked up said 128. And
yeah, I think there's about $100 price difference.
And that's interesting because the price, including the AppleCare and our tax and a little $1.20 eco fee, 604 Canadian.
Which is about 500 American.
Oh, that's
even less than that. 600 Canadian.
Yeah, it should be less than that. It should be in the United States. You would get it without cell service for $4.29.
$4.29. Yeah.
Yeah, without cell service. If you wanted this
AppleCare?
without AppleCare and without cell.
Yeah.
The hardware itself with their standard 1-year warranty, that would be $429, and then AppleCare would be on top of it.
So I was pricing the iPad Pro 256 11-inch with AppleCare, blah, 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 blah. So the iPad Pro itself, $809. The AppleCare was $116, and they'll give me $190 trade-in.
This is the new iPad Pro, this one in colors.
Exactly.
You pick your color?
Silver.
So,
I forgot about the trade-in because when I was looking to buy it online, yeah, and they were going to give me $50 or something trade-in on my old one. But this works out to be $480 US, the 604 Canadian. So for $480, we got the iPad, 8th generation, 128 gig, and AppleCare.
Right. How much was your AppleCare?
39 or something.
Really? It's 116 for the Pro.
Yeah, the Pro is more. I've got the shopping list here from AppleCare Canada.
Really?
AppleCare, Apple Pro, iPad Pro is $49 Canadian. All other iPads are $49.
that's interesting, but I bet what that is it's a different price because of the guarantee of equipment.
And I think this is a 2-year
Oh, yeah?
for one.
Oh, well, the iPhone screen only damage is $39, but all other damage is $129.
Mm-hmm.
As you're talking, I'm going through the Apple site. I've been trying to find something that's talking about the AppleCare price, but I haven't found it yet.
Oh, it says each service event. Oh, sorry, guys. Those are the fees.
Wonder if I have to go through a purchase to find the details about AppleCare. I just don't see it here.
Well, I just purchased one, and I think it was $55 for the AppleCare. I'll check for sure.
Yeah, I would hope that AppleCare is a flat product, and what you're paying for,
$55.
yeah, and what you're paying for is how extended that is, how many years you're buying it for.
I think it's 2 years for AppleCare on the iPad. I think it's 1 year on the iPhones.
Okay, guys, I'm reading the fine print now. What it says is that you have access to 24/7 priority tech support, additional hardware service options, and coverage for up to 2 incidents of accidental damage from handling every 12 months. Each is subject to a service fee of $39. So the $39 is the service fee for up to 2 events in a 12-month period. And it looks like whatever I paid for AppleCare expires on July 29th, 23. So 2 years.
All right, you know what? I have found an article here I have not read, but it was written May 7th, 2021. And it is talking about AppleCare. They're trying to determine whether it's worth buying. You have a 1-year limited warranty, 90 days of complimentary tech support. That's before you get AppleCare.
Yeah. That was through Costco, though, the tech support.
Well, it's also through Apple because it's an Apple product.
Okay.
Like you could go directly to Apple. They don't care where you bought it. Well, they care how old their product is. And they have the AppleCare Plus subscription plan in addition to the 2 years. Wait a second. Maybe I jumped ahead of myself. AppleCare Plus, an additional service and support plan you can purchase to protect your devices. Priority access to Apple support, chat, and phone. Cost of repairs or heavily reduces the fee of repair work. 2 incidents of accidental damage coverage over 12 months. Express replacement services for iPhones, iPads, and Apple Watches. A version of AppleCare Plus also covers theft or loss. I'm afraid this is a complicated topic. You can extend it to 2 years. Oh, here we go. This is what I was looking at. AppleCare Plus costs for iPhones. So there's actually separate pricing for each one of the devices.
Mm-hmm.
And this is actually an article that's talking about iPhones. Here it is, iPads. Here's the iPad AppleCare. And it looks like it's $69. It includes two incidents of accidental damage, like you dropped it. You can drop it twice every 12 months.
Yeah. And each time it'll cost you,
Yeah, $50.
oh, $39 for the iPad.
Oh, here it says $49, but this is probably all American pricing. Maybe part of your
the other way around then.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was reading AppleCare Plus, $103 for 12 months. Every iPad comes with 1 year of hardware repair coverage and up to 90 days of support. AppleCare Plus extends coverage and includes up to 2 instances. Each instance is $49 for iPad.
Okay, that's what I'm reading on this article. I'm going to put a link to this article in our chat. It goes through AppleCare, and the whole position of the article is asking the existential question, is it worth it? And they get in details of how much it would cost to replace a screen, how much labor would be involved in it, and then they're comparing those pricing and considering how much it might cost under AppleCare. And then I imagine, I didn't get all the way through the article, but I imagine they're making some logical leap in how often you would assume to have this kind of damage. I'm also going to add it to our document that we shared with you. Is AppleCare worth it? A detailed guide with pricing from iGeeks blog. So there, iGeeks, I've given you a plug. There's at least 9 people that know to read your article.
I've just downloaded that article right now and I'm reading it now.
All right.
Yeah, so AppleCare Plus or AppleCare are 2 different things.
Okay.
So mine is an AppleCare Plus, and I just opened it in the other window, so it'll be there when we're finished.
All right. What else do we got on today's non-agenda?
Well, I shared a technology thing there. It's just a short news article that was what they're doing for the medals in the Tokyo Olympics, which I've been watching every day and Bill most days. But anyways, they recycled cell phones and technology and made the medals out of it. And I think that's pretty cool.
That is cool. So there's always this is reclaimed gold, and I'm assuming I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to read the article. Millions of devices thrown away contain precious metals. Yeah, so they're getting gold and silver out of the electronics.
Uh-huh.
So there was a 2-year national effort in Japan to collect enough recycled material to produce about 5,000 bronze, silver, and gold medals for the Olympics. Well, that's interesting. 32 kilograms of gold, 3,493 kilograms of silver, and 2,200 kilograms of bronze. That sounds like everybody gets a silver medal.
Yeah. Well, they have to give them to the teams and things like that, you know. So during the Olympic watching, Mexico, Canada softball of the women's. Canada came out in front of Mexico. And just yesterday, our girls' soccer team beat the USA. First time in 20 years. So we're going to the gold or silver. We beat Brazil last week. And so we're pretty excited. Our girls are doing great. We actually have one man that has a bronze now. So, yeah.
I have not been following the Olympics. I did see something on Twitter about a Mexican woman lifter that got bronze or silver. I don't know if you'd seen that. It's in Mexican Twitter. It's a big deal.
That's quite a feat for Canada, considering that they were wearing Levi's.
Yeah.
They're wearing flannel and Levi's. That's their.
Yeah, and our beach volleyball girls are doing really well too. In fact, both of our we have two girls beach volleyball teams, and they may end up playing each other for gold and silver. So
these Olympics have become quite a political issue. Did you guys see? I saw some article about a volleyball team that was getting fined because they changed their outfits to be less revealing.
The beach volleyball. Yeah. No, it wasn't volleyball. It was.
No, it was.
I thought it was volleyball.
Handball. It wasn't volleyball. It was handball, and it was the Norwegian team, but they weren't in the Olympics. They were just playing in the European League or something.
Oh, that wasn't the Olympics. Okay.
I don't believe so, no. But they said, we don't got to wear these damn little bikinis. The men's team don't wear them, so we're not. We're wearing comfortable shorts.
Okay, well.
And they were fined.
Well, then the Russians have changed their gymnastics outfits for this. I do know that's the Olympics, right?
The Germans have changed the gymnastic outfits. They're wearing full leggings, full body suits, as opposed to up the crotch, skimpy little bottoms, but they're wearing legs.
I didn't even know what they were talking about until I did some Google searches. I thought they looked much cooler this year than they have in the past.
Yeah.
They look like superheroes in their outfits now.
It's my understanding that in all of the original Olympics in Greece, they were all naked.
Naked. I was going to say, we're really moving away from tradition.
And I don't think in the original Olympics there were no women in there either. It was all men.
Correct.
Wait, was that originally broadcasted on NBC?
Anyway, just as a side note, I found it very interesting, and I didn't know it was possible, but the high jumpers, the Italian and one other high jumper, they tied, so they decided to share the gold medal. I didn't know you could do that.
Well,
it was because they tied.
That's
they tied
cool.
in the overtime.
They chose not to do that. They chose to go for the tie.
It was in high jumping, and if they both jumped the same height, and if they wanted to determine who was gold and who was silver, it sounded like they had a choice of going higher, but each of them had risk of injury by going higher, so they decided amongst them that they would accept that this was the height and that we're going to share the gold.
Yep.
So how did they cut that in half?
No, they gave them two medals. They each got their own gold.
Now they got a special saw out there that they can do that. They just slice it in half.
The official saw.
The official Olympic medal saw.
And
they do it on crossplay. They don't cut it in half lengthwise.
It's very graceful.
Friends Forever, they put a thing in it, and they have to get together to do speaking engagements where they hook together.
Right.
And they,
But I never can compete again unless they're together.
Chester,
So
you're
I
trying to
expect
comment something. What was it you were trying to say?
I said it was very sportsmanlike and very gracious.
Yeah. It's a nice way to behave in the world we're living in right now. It's good to see that people can come to common ground and share things together instead of compete.
The same thing happened in one of the races where the person behind the other person caused him to fall and he fell on top of him. And they both hugged each other and ran together to cross the finish.
I gotta say, I haven't paid any attention to the Olympics. The only jumping I've seen was that Irish gymnast that was proving that the beds can have sex on them. Did you guys see that video?
Well,
you didn't see that?
You really watch different channels than we do, Scott. I'm just going to say
I live on the internet. What can I say? No, there was, the beds in the Olympic Village were made out of cardboard, specifically to discourage people hooking up. Because of COVID, they're trying to keep the contestants from intermingling. And so they made these beds, these cardboard IKEA-style beds. And the rumor was that you couldn't have sex on them. Well, there's this viral video of an Irish gymnast jumping up and down on the bed to prove to the world that it can handle some real abusive treatment. They weren't just going to fall apart. I think he was also looking for partners if they were interested. Somebody went as far as to say, we're gymnasts and it has a 300-pound weight limit. That means 3 of us can be on this bed.
The other political or controversial, I guess it is, Tokyo's Olympics are dedicated to equality amongst the sexes. And so there have been a couple of new events. The one I watched was the swimming event where it was a 4 relay. And each of the 4 people did a different swimming stroke, but there were 2 men and 2 women on it. And the British won that, and he picked up all 3 of his other contestants, and they celebrated and everything. But we have one soccer player who is transgender on the girls' team, and there's another one that is a weightlifter, and that's a man playing in the women's because he transgendered. He whatever you put. Yeah, and then the 2 women in the sprinting have tested for too much testosterone, and they have limited the activities that they're allowed to be in as women. They call them what's the word? Androgynous. And they would have to take medication to reduce their testosterone if they wanted to compete in the 400 meter. So lots of interesting things.
Here's a picture of the cardboard bed. Where'd the video go? There's a video here somewhere.
Oh,
there it is.
You had it at the bottom.
Go up.
Go up. You saw it?
Yeah. Right there.
Well, this is pictures from the video. I just had the video. Where did it go?
Oh, I'm sorry.
It was down. Just about.
I don't think that's it.
Oh.
I don't think this is it. This is some other stuff that's going on. Hold on a second. Well, you know what? It's not popping out in the other browser. Let me do something different here. You are looking at a different screen.
I've got to run. See y'all next week.
All right, Chester. We'll
in
see you
today's
next week.
episode of Fake News at the Olympic Games, the beds.
I fully expect the phone's going to ring and I'm going to have to leave. And Bill will have to tell you guys the story of our watching event this week.
Fake news. In today's episode of Fake News at the Olympic Games, the beds are meant to be anti-sex. They're made out of cardboard, yes, but apparently they're meant to break at any sudden movements. It's fake news. In today's episode.
He's calling it fake news. He said they won't break. Where am I? Where are you guys? There we are. How come I can't hear you, Cheryl? Did I break something? I think I broke something. Can somebody say something? I can't hear anything.
Something.
Muted.
Oh, it is
I might-
Cheryl. Okay. I thought maybe I broke something. I'm going to put a link to that just because it's funny in our chat. And you can listen to his audio, but what he says is that it's fake news. They can totally use those cardboard beds for sex.
I have a question on that.
Go ahead, Fred.
Did they issue different length beds for the basketball players and the?
I have no idea. This is all I pay attention to in the Olympics is stuff like this. Anything that's gone viral.
Well, gymnasts tend to be small, so maybe they are just for gymnasts.
Yeah, there's a couple of wrestlers though that would break the 300-pound limit, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sumo wrestling.
Weightlifters.
They probably gave him futons.
Cardboard futon, that'd be fun.
They raided the university's dormitoriums and filled the rooms with futons on floors. Well, we got anything else for this meeting? We've got some other news. Anybody have any other topics?
Can we digress a second?
Certainly, Fred. Go ahead.
Okay, I was reading that once your AppleCare runs out, you can get it by the month, and
Month by month?
you could get it month by month as long as you want, and you're still covered up under AppleCare.
Well, that's interesting. What does the month by month pricing come to?
It seems to me I remember something like $6 or $7 a month. But I don't remember whether that was for my computer or iPad or what.
I have not seen it listed for a monthly service. I've only ever seen it by year.
Well, I read it someplace when I bought my computer.
Oh, this is funny. I accidentally clicked something and everything.
Okay, well, Cheryl brought it up. I guess it's my story to tell. The other night I discovered on my laptop that Jungle Quest was, no, is that right, dear? Yes, Jungle Quest was available on Stremio.
Oh,
so
okay.
I told her that, and we sat down at the TV and we were going to play it. So I said,
Actually, Billy told
Did
me
you-
that I was supposed to use Stremio and that he had seen it on his computer on Stremio. So I'm searching and he tells me the movie is called River Quest. So I'm looking up River Quest.
Yes, River Quest.
And then I try River, and then I try Quest, and I try all kinds of things. So he goes back to his computer, and he goes, well, it's open on my computer. How come you can't get it to open on the TV? So we go back and forth, back and forth. Finally, he says, oh, I guess it's called Jungle Cruise.
Jungle Cruise.
There was no river. There was no quest. You have to have the words right when you do a computer search.
They should have. They screwed up. They should have called it River Quest.
So Bill's doing a campaign to change the name of the movie. I was ready to search by, because I knew The Rock was in it, and Johnson. I was going to search by all other things. But talk about, that's your basic thing you teach in computer, right? You have to spell things right, and you have to have the name right. You can't find a movie without it.
That's right. Yeah.
Anyway, my comment on the movie is it's a reasonable piece of fluff. It's not I didn't find it a very good movie. I thought it was pretty much a copy of, all of the Indiana Jones / whatever movies that come along. I didn't think it was a great movie, but it's a fun thing to watch.
What did you think of the CGI? Did I say that?
The
right?
CGI, the computer graphic effects. What did you think of?
Oh, they were fine.
Yeah, it reminded me a lot of Pirates of the Caribbean. The people were supposedly dead for many, many years. I was really it was Disney magic fantasy type stuff that was kind of interesting and kind of funny. I know I laughed a few times, but it does kind of lose something. It takes place in the past, but they've got all of these different computerized, different creatures and effects. It looked very Walt Disney World kind of
Well,
experience.
Yeah, I mean, you do.
Walt Disney. Jungle Cruise has been one of Walt Disney, or one of, I think, the California Disneyland has it.
Yeah,
you're aware that is a ride, just like Pirates of the Caribbean was never a story. It was always a ride.
Right. And so
they just built a story around it. Johnny Depp has been in trouble with the Amber Heard thing and his divorce. And he's gone through a period of time where Disney has decided to at least postpone the next Pirates movie, part of our cancel culture. And I think that they put together this movie, this Jungle Cruise with The Rock, because they're trying to find another franchise that would replace the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise. A new actor, a new storyline. And it felt that way as we were watching the movie. I felt the same way you did, that it felt very much like Pirates of the Caribbean, just with The Rock, which is nowhere near as good an actor as Johnny Depp. And it was very fluffy. It was not a deep story. It felt like it came from a Disney ride. It was good. It had great special effects. It was fun to watch.
Loved it.
The kids loved it. You're out of here, Judy. Judy's out of here, which is a signal that we're getting close to our ending time. But
Okay,
we also,
Scott, I got a couple quick questions.
okay, and then after that, I got some recommendations, and I'm gonna put the Jungle Cruise on there too.
This will be quick.
Okay.
Can I make Stremio work on the new iPad?
Not the way you want it to work.
Yeah, like it works like it works on my little iPhone. I can see stuff, but I can't go out and grab a movie that I want.
No, the Stremio app in the Apple Store has been hobbled so that it meets the terms of service of Apple's App Store.
Is there? What about Pirate Bay? Does it run on an iPad?
Well, again, the Pirate Bay is a website that hosts torrents.
Yes.
So you'll be able to look at that website, but then when you go to accessing a torrent, then you'll need an application that can read torrents. And I don't think there is a torrent application in the Apple Store. If there is, I'm not aware of it. But I don't think there... Say again?
I could see the torrent, but I cannot get anything to download it.
Yeah, that's right. You can see the link to the torrent. You could probably even look at the torrent file, but because it's an iPad or an iPhone, And because Apple's terms of service, I don't believe they have BitTorrent or QTorrent or MicroTorrent. I don't think they have any of those clients available in their app store. So
tell me about the Fire Stick. The Fire Stick we plug into HDMI, is that what, or
Sure.
USB?
Yeah, that's
on
how
the
that
TV.
works. You plug it into a monitor using HDMI, like your big screen TV.
Oh, okay. I couldn't really remember if it was just in the USB or if it was in the HDMI.
No, it's HDMI that you connect. You connect it to a TV set or a monitor that supports HDMI. The sound comes through the HDMI, so that's an important part of it. You'd be connecting to a fairly modern display with HDMI, and you'd expect the video and the sound to go through that one.
So if I wanted to watch a torrent movie, I'd have to download it on one of my Windows machines and then port it over to the Apple. It would play on the Apple if I did it that way, I presume.
Yeah, you could bring it over. You could do weird stuff like you could stick it in your iCloud as a file, and then you could use the video player on your iPad to, like, I think there's a copy of VLC that's available for the iPad, I believe.
All right.
Don't quote me
That's
on
my
it.
questions.
Yeah.
I'll see if
Bill, you know what you can do with the new iPad and the new operating system is you can put the movies on a USB stick, a flash drive, and you can plug it in, and it's able to read those now with the latest iOS.
What kind of a connection do you need into this? There's still only a lightning connector. You'd have to have some special converter.
Yeah, you need an adapter for USB.
One of those OTGs?
Yeah, something like that. But it's going to be lightning. It's going to be lightning to USB.
Yes.
And there's also sticks. If you find yourself doing that kind of stuff often, there are lightning adaptable sticks. Like you can go out.
I've seen them. They have multiple adapters on them, and you can switch around. That's a big new thing.
That's right. That's right.
Okay.
What's the adapter we have? The lightning to HDMI?
No, that's the wrong way around.
Yeah,
it goes lightning to a USB or to a HDMI.
Well, you might find that you've got some lightning dock that you've been using for HDMI that also has a USB on it, and so it might work for that job.
Anyway, I'll do some more. I'll see if I can find something. Cheryl's got to go. Bye, Cheryl.
Bye, Cheryl.
She's got a doctor's appointment.
That's right. She's
I'm
getting.
leaving too for the same reason. Bye.
Bye, Mom.
It's a sign of the times that COVID has changed. We now quite often do doctor's appointments on the phone.
That's
right.
And
I think that's going to continue.
I think you're right. I think that is going to continue. Just like masks are going to continue.
Yeah.
Nobody in the United States is ready to admit it, but we're going back to masks.
Oh, well, Alberta is really doing it. We outdid you guys. Yeah, like our premier 2 weeks ago announced that we're wide open, more or less. Like if you test positive in this province, you are no longer required to isolate. There's no requirement. You can test positive and just go walking around, just like no mask, no nothing.
What's that all about?
Yes. Well, yeah, exactly. That's what everybody in Alberta wants to know. What the hell is that all about?
Go ahead,
Bill. He's trying to out Trump or the Republicans. He's just declared that we're done with it. The province is open, and by God damn, it's going to stay open. And he doesn't want to know what's going on. He doesn't want any testing. He doesn't want anything. He just wants it to run, and it's going to run. We are 70% vaccinated or better, but it's still that Delta variant is going to go.
You know, I just heard over the weekend that a family friend, their brother in Wymus just died. He got sick with COVID, last week, with less than a week, got sick and died, and he was fully vaccinated.
Yeah, well, they say that if you're fully vaccinated, it's the chance of getting sick enough to be hospitalized is 0.004, and the chances of dying from it is 0.0001, I believe. It's very, very small. It's like if you're vaccinated, it's pretty much like your chances are like the flu. You can die from the flu, but it's very rare.
Yeah, that's what they're saying, and then there's this experience. Like I'm 2 arm lengths away from somebody that just died fully vaccinated from COVID.
Fully vaccinated, yeah, it happens. There's no guarantee it's not going to happen, but your odds are, to quote,
I think it's 1 in 1,000.
The odds are in your favor.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's crazy. The and you've been following Florida. Florida's pushing forward. They've got the highest infection rate since the beginning of this now. Their daily infection rate is the highest it has ever been throughout the whole pandemic. And
they're still saying everything's fine.
The governors, worse than that, the governors passed legislation that will withhold funds to public schools that enforce a mask mandate.
Yeah.
That's how ridiculous this has gotten.
Well, there's a reason that he's second only in polling to Trump for the Republican presidential candidate. And he's gunning for it. That's what he's doing.
Well, and the CDC has come out to say that if you've gotten infected as a fully vaccinated person, your viral load is just as infectious as though you had no vaccination.
Exactly. You're not sick, physically sick, but you are carrying just as much.
Your ability to infect other people is just as high whether you've been vaccinated or not, if they've had a breakthrough infection.
Okay. I got to go. I got stuff in the oven.
All right. Well, let's call this to an end. Paul, Fred, Bill?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that during a 1 week time, I watched all of Yellowstone.
All right.
that tends to be binge butt.
And it wasn't binge butt. I found it not to be fluff.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, Scott, you got 5 minutes. Your group is timed out.
I love how they've got a link right here to upgrade. They're like, you don't have to keep getting disconnected. You could just pay us for more time.
Yeah. Tech on, my friend.
All right, you guys, tech on until next week. Good to see you. Good to see you, Fred. We'll talk again next week. Well, that was it. That was the San Carlos Computer Club. And I am Scott Stimson from International Computer Solutions, where if you have computer issues out there on the internet, I can reach out and help you remotely. Check out internationalcs.net. If you want to reach me directly, it's scott@internationalcs.net. If you're interested in talking to me about Computer Club, it's scott@scclub.org. And if you're looking for remote help, the quick one is remote@internationalcs.net. Until next Tuesday at 10 Arizona Sonoran time. They don't recognize daylight. It's like mountain time, but they don't recognize daylight. 10 o'clock, Tuesday, we meet online. I'll see you then. Till then, tech on.